Hello everyone, I'm Sanjan. I'll be running the opener here in Mass Effect 1, any percent no Mako glitches. It's going to be quite a bit of a run, so you might all remember Mass Effect 1 as that game, but I'm going to basically put a hammer to this game. So you're wondering why I'm going to be put into the save. I'll be loading the save, so what happens is that I don't start the time until Shepard moves, and we also don't go through the new game since there's a lot of intro cutscenes here. So I'll introduce how about everyone on my couch to the back here introduce themselves?
Hi everyone, I'm Mudkip K47, Alec K47. I've run this game for a long time, and I'm going to be here talking about kind of how the game goes, and particularly about how some of the more difficult fights actually work.
Hi, I'm Corva May. I don't run this game because when I tried to run it, it started crashing about halfway through and I couldn't figure out how to fix it. But I've commentated a bunch for Sanjan in the past, and so I'm here to do it again. This game's great. Unironically, I love this game.
I'm Keys. I'm going to be on the screen throughout the week as, like, the live crowd.
All right, so I hope the crowd and I hope the viewers are ready for a lot of this game breaking. So, woo! Without further ado, we'll start in 3, 2, 1, go. So I'm going to immediately start and throw a grenade here on the floor.
That's not safe.
Because it's totally safe here on the Normandy.
Okay, never mind.
It's totally right, so...
You lied to me, May.
I didn't. It seemed dangerous.
Normally I would go back here, but it can get cause a game crash, so I'm just going to mash through this dialogue. You might wonder why I'm going through this dialogue at a sky-high speed. It's because I'm using a mouse with the free wheel scroll. It is a legal thing that you can do in Mass Effect, and if I didn't have that, I would have to start passing space all the time. And then we do start with quite a few cutscenes, so I'll let my couch crew explain the plot of this game.
So yeah, the plot of this game is basically you're chasing this rogue Spectre, Saren, around the galaxy, trying to stop him from getting the return of the Reapers. We'll be skipping a lot of that exposition in this game, not just through the scroll wheel, but through other methods, shall we say. So, if you look at the scroll wheel, it's an INI file edit that we allow. We allow certain ones based on, a certain sense of fairness, and that is one of them. It is also used for some other skips that we will explain later. And if you're expecting normal gameplay, you'll see a fair amount of it. But you'll also see a fair amount of very abnormal gameplay.
17 minutes out, Captain. No other Alliance ships in the area.
Only 17 minutes till we get to play the game again, apparently. Thanks, Joker.
Hey, May, what's your favorite part of this game?
My favorite part of this game is, unfortunately, the thing that this category doesn't do, which is the Mako glitches, because they're really funny. But if you do get those donations in to hit the Mako glitch incentive, you'll get to see my favorite part of this game. So please, please, please do that.
I have to say it is well worth it.
It's so funny.
It's incredibly silly, it's entertaining, and I love it.
You can do some really amazing things with it, so please do donate for it.
If you meant casually, my favorite part of this game is that every single time you get into a fight, they just shout enemies everywhere, and I think it's really good.
Go, go, go!
Enemies everywhere! I move faster on my own.
Thanks, Nihilus. He's the real speedrunner, but
His run dies.
His run does die.
It's really sad.
I think it's a skill issue, honestly.
It's always a skill issue.
Yeah, unfortunately, he seems to have misplaced his reset button as well. So killing one of those gas bags gives you a free sprint, much like the grenades does, but it doesn't cost a grenade, so it's well worth doing. Every time you're able to sprint, you do a little bit of a pulse thing there, because you lose momentum slowly and you regain stamina while you do that. So over the course of the run, it saves, I think, upwards of a minute if you get good sprint pulsing.
Unfortunately, in order to go fast, we do have to kill off certain squad members. That's like a whole thing of Mass Effect, and that includes Jenkins. We do not save Jenkins in this run.
Jenkins, no.
It's kind of Jenkins' fault for...
So I'm going to cast Warp here to immediately kill those three, and then I'm going to go and get Marksman, and then get Singularity. So you might notice, well, you did see this, but basically when I created my Shepard, this Shepard is a Vanguard. And then I got the bonus skill Singularity. So one thing also is that we play with the full achievement files because it does give you bonuses.
Otherwise, you'd have to completely reset your game data every single time, pretty much. So you might notice that Sanjan is on these rocks. That's not supposed to happen.
This looks normal.
Yeah, it's standard.
Yeah, crouching, saving, and loading in certain places just does not quite go right with the with the game's collision. So by doing this, you're able to run around the perimeter of the area where you're supposed to be instead of running through it and fighting things. Obviously, you want to aggro them for sprint, but this allows you to get right to the area where Nihilus is right before the tram. There are a couple silly things that happen because of this. One is that you don't recruit Ashley. Don't worry, she'll find her way to the group later, but she's not going to be showing up until after this planet, Eden Prime. Gonna drop back in bounds a little bit up here, and this is because in order to progress to the next area, we do need to get to the end of the tram. Getting a couple things there for money, basically. The main weapon we're going to be using for later in the game is something you need to buy, so we need all the money we can get. There's Nihilus, and you do have to aggro those husks before then. They get despawned here, fortunately, but if you do not aggro them, you will not be able to save and load. Why do you need to save and load? Well, because the enemies on the tram are here and also are not here. So that Geth Destroyer spawned, but all the rest don't. But you need to be out of combat in order to actually use the tram, but the game won't count you as being out of combat unless you kill all these enemies, so you have to save and load. It's a whole thing, but obviously it's much faster than going through all the little cutscenes and the fights that you have otherwise.
Yeah, and that tram sequence right there, the game doesn't want you to die, but you sure can anyways.
Oh yeah.
Accept the charges. Destroy the
So there's going to be a little more cutscenes that play. You have time for 1 or 2 donations or a little quick talk?
Well, thank you. That is music to my ears. So, hi everyone. I'm Bonnie Vaughn. I'm going to be running. I'm going to be hosting for these next 2 runs. I've got plenty of donations here. Let me just go ahead and bang out a couple quick ones. We got an anonymous $25 donation. We got $25 from Turk Dog, who says, "Here's to the start of my favorite marathon. I have to adult today and work in my yard, but I'll be back for more. Good luck to the runners." And we have Flower Power, who has donated $26.67 with no comment. Thank you all very much for those donations, and let's keep them coming.
Yeah, so this section is pretty simple. Can't skip it. You just have to disarm some bombs and then get up to the beacon and use it. This section, hopefully Caden's going to be useful. He isn't always. There's going to be a little bit of ordering him around to try to get him to do stuff. It's usually only a minor time loss if he isn't productive, but you just go around, you disarm these bombs. There's one little thing we grab here for equipment coming up after the last bomb.
I would like Caden to use throw on the last Geth near the last bomb, please. Please do your job, Caden.
Yeah, the AI is...
Oh, he did it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, every
Thanks,
clap for
Caden.
Caden. Woo!
Hey, Caden's a Chad.
See,
Hopefully Caden can continue his reputation for being a Chad in a speedrun.
yeah, here's the last bomb. Here's the little crate. We get some stuff there. And this is a fun little trick you can do. Kill that Geth, and then use the beacon before the husks there activate, and they'll just be kind of sitting in the background. Saves a nice little bit of time. Meanwhile, there's no Ashley.
You might notice why I'm playing Male Shepherd. Typically, I personally play a Fem Shep, but today we're playing Sheplu, and this is purely for this cutscene, which is really, really funny. Like, because we never recruited Ashley. She doesn't spawn in this cutscene, and basically, Shepherd and Caden are gonna have a time.
Oh no,
Oh,
the
no.
Nothing is in trouble.
Oh no, we gotta save the nothing.
Not my oxygen, no!
Not, I think some ghost Pokemon haunted this game, That's why we're all wearing, like, Pokemon hats.
We do have 2 ghost hats.
True, 2 of them are.
Nothing,
mine.
don't touch Shepard, it's too dangerous.
They're gonna go through a lot in this speed run, There is a particular reason why I have the Gengar hat on me, because Shepard's going to be literally a ghost.
It's true. Well, because if you think about it, Shepard is a specter, which is a word for ghosts. So
Yeah, at least
We
a
got
ghost
there
type,
eventually.
you'd got to say. Meanwhile, we're going to be watching a cutscene here, then just going through some dialogue, running up to Joker for another cutscene. One of the unfortunate things about this run is that there are a lot of cutscenes early on, but one of the fortunate things is that we have Senor Vanivan over there.
That is right. And I've got more donations to read. We have $15 from the Altar Maven saying, hello, RPGLB. Better late than never. Good to see the group all together after a long hiatus. Just to let you all know that I have your back. Cat bites the awful RNG. We've got $10 from Angel of Pain that says hello from the UK. Can't wait to see all the runs for a great cause. And then we have a $100 donation from Mudboy Wells, who said GHLF to all the, I guess GLHF, to all the runners. Always thrilled to be a part of this wonderful event and the amazing cause.
Saren in that cutscene doing his best impression of me when my runs died of bad RNG.
I mean, I think Saren has a point, whenever my run, whenever Saren's speed runs die to RNG or like, Shepard beating his times, he just gets like really, it's just like really pumped
You
up.
get emotional, like you get attached to a good run, and then it all crumbles down, and like, who of us haven't been there?
Also, there's Ashley.
Yeah, how does Ashley
hi,
know
Ashley.
any of this? She wasn't here.
Well, she was a ghost.
I
Yeah.
see. Okay, that makes more sense.
She was possessed, by a pumpkaboo.
There you go. Let's go with that.
Sure.
Pumpkaboo.
We should be getting close. Head up to the bridge and tell Joker to bring us into dock.
So yeah, we're just going to run up to the bridge, talk to Joker. He's going to bring us into dock. There's going to be a joke. There's going to be a couple dialogue lines played in nonsensical order. Seriously, go watch that at some point. But we have a little bit more time at this point. So Vani, say whatever you feel like saying.
Oh, do not tell me that.
True, I probably should.
Well, what I feel like saying is obviously some donation comments. I've got one right here. I've got a $25 donation from Miria. Thank you very much for that. And that's all we've got for now. But for those of you that are thinking about donating, want to draw your attention to all of the donation incentives that we have going on here for this first day of speedrunning here. We've got a couple for what's going on with the run that you're watching right now for Mass Effect. That Mako Glitch exhibition needs to hit a goal of $300. We're at 50, so still got a little ways to go there. We've also got a bid war here. If we are going to save or yeet the council, and when I'm done, I would like for you to explain exactly what that means. Right now, Yeet is in the lead with $5.
Yeah.
So tell me, what is this about the council that we will be either yeeting or saving?
So the council is like, a group of people that you talk to, like in Mass Effect, like plot-wise, they're kind of like, they're kind of hesitant to help you out because, like, since you're on the hunt for Saren, who's been doing, some really sketchy things with the Geth and, some big,
You're kicking
Squid-looking
hornets' nests,
reaper.
basically.
Yeah. And they also, like, don't want to believe you that, like, Saren's up to stuff because it would, like, A, require them to do work, and B, would make them look kind of bad. And so, at the end, there's a cutscene or a decision we have to make at the end of the game that's essentially like, do we tell the human fleet to dedicate themselves to try to save the council, which would cause more casualties on the human fleet, or do we have them just say, nah, screw it?
Yeah, and it's worth mentioning that the optimal choice is to save them, because that is a shorter cutscene. I know that's going to be unpopular among some people out in the audience.
I'm audience. Boo.
Save the council, save the frame.
Exactly. We got to go fast. This is a speed run.
So I threw a grenade there to get to the place fast, and we're going to meet a lot of people's favorite character here for 1 second. Hi, Garrus. Bye, Garrus.
That's my shirt.
That's your shirt. CSEC apparently doesn't care if you throw grenades in the Citadel, which you think they might want to, like, get on that, but as we all know, the way to getting on top of a ceiling is to crouch in a corner and then save and reload, like we've all done in real life.
So that's
This-
the elevator
this
shaft
memoir
down there. You're supposed to ride it, and it's like the game covering its loading. But instead, going to use that and just kind of walk while falling out of bounds. We're going to land on another spot and then get all the way to Fist, which is where we need to go, but we don't technically know we need to go there yet, but we can get there because we're out of bounds.
Or, Shepard's, Shepard just has, like, good future-telling capabilities.
Yeah, he has his best precogs on it.
I mean, this is totally like a normal day on the Normandy with Shepard.
This
Well,
is
we're
how
on
I
the,
remember
we're on the
game.
Citadel right now,
Yeah.
so
A normal day on the Citadel with Shepard.
yeah. We gotta be precise here. Hey, it's Fist. Hey, Fist.
So we can't, like, really go down here normally, so we're gonna save and load here, and that'll bring us, inside this building.
Yeah, you can get down here on the remaster, but you cannot get back in bounds here, so it's not really possible in the new game category to get
Alright,
right into
Caden.
Fisk like this.
So one important thing is that I am playing this on the original version. The original version is just basically a lot more glitch. You can't do, like, a majority of these tricks that you're gonna see in the speedrun with the remastered version, unfortunately. So I'm gonna go in here and learn a couple skills. I'm gonna go do this for safety.
Yeah, nice little
Got some-
safety thing here because the money and experience route are kind of tight. So this gives you a little bit of money and a little bit of experience.
Oh, I made that slower than I should have, but it's okay.
Heat Sink 1 isn't bad. That's not a bad
So this
thing to
is
get.
if you've like watched Sanjan do this run in like hotfix or things like that in the past, or the Frame Fatales run. This part starting here is actually a little bit different because the route has changed a bit since then. We used to just like run through all of this and just pop barrier and then refresh barrier and pop it again.
Oh, that was really
that's
bad.
that's unlucky.
Yeah, the explosion there. Even if you're kind of in that position, it doesn't always hit you because of the way the walls are.
That's
that
fine.
was
We always have
unfortunate.
backup saves. That's why I take doing this is like a little dangerous
Yeah, it's,
because I need to get like a certain amount of XP.
Yeah.
this is very much an early potential run killer and everything but the New Game Plus category where you're pretty much invincible.
Yeah, so this used to be dangerous, but less dangerous.
All right, well,
Uh-oh.
I don't think this game wants to let me through.
There we go.
Yeah, when the bartender throws you, all bets are off.
Now it's more dangerous, yeah, because again, we need that experience to make up for fights that we don't do later because of new strategies.
And of course, I missed this assassin. That's fine. Got the quick kill anyways.
And now we get to meet a lot of people's second favorite character.
That's me! Yay!
Third favorite character.
Yeah, so we're gonna meet Tally here. We're basically gonna save her because apparently she has important information that can makes that apparently has Saren doing some very sketchy stuff with people. So we want to rescue her. And we had this fun little battle here. Hopefully I get the quick kill. I'm gonna use throws so that I can kill both of them, and we got the quick kill. That's very nice.
Nice. Yeah.
Every single fight in this game is very choreographed. So things can go differently, as you saw in that one with that death there. But for the most part, if things play nicely, they should be pretty consistent. Asterisk.
Yeah.
Terms and conditions may apply.
Exactly.
And like I said, that fight in the bar is actually one of the more inconsistent ones because you have a lot of AIs just kind of running around and they don't always act the same.
Yeah, basically the longer you stay in that room, like you're pretty much gonna be sure to die.
Thanks. You won't regret.
So we're intentionally gonna pick Kaden and Tally here because one of the tricks that we're gonna do a little later.
Well, we don't want Ashley because she's going to phase out of existence again, so.
Yeah, it's actually important that you pick the party you want for the next planet here. And if you don't know why, well, you won't be in suspense for too long because this does go fairly fast. You do have to become a Spectre, and there's a little bit of weirdness here. We appear here because we talked to Garrus earlier. Now, this game is going to try to load the first cutscene here, and then it's going to try to load the Spectre Council cutscene. It crashes, but fortunately it also lets you save. Now we have recently allowed a bind that allows you to do simultaneous inputs here to open the map and talk to Anderson at the same time. And so what this does, this simultaneous thing, it puts you in the map, and normally you can't really do anything. You but you can click on the mission objective there and then go back to the map from there, and for whatever reason that allows the Spectre cutscene to load, but not entirely load, so it goes much faster. Instead of sitting there listening to the council talk, it just kind of was like, oh, we can't load that. Okay, move on to the next thing, and then you just skip through the dialogue and you're done. You're a Spectre.
Yeah, it skips like a minute and 30 seconds of cutscene, which is like
You shouldn't
really
have.
big skip.
You shouldn't have told me about the bind, because I remember it used to be like Sanjan's least favorite trick, because it's frame perfect. And then so I was like, dang, nice, you got so good at this.
Yeah.
Because it's hard.
It is kind of tricky. Like, I'm a drummer, so I'm good at going at the same time, but even
same.
then I miss it quite a bit.
It was funny, because when I was learning this game, that was like the one trick I was like, oh yeah, no, this one, I can do that one.
Also, totally normal way to go to the Normandy.
Yeah. You fall out of the sky, then you jump into a fountain, and then you're there.
Yeah, sometimes you get zipped to the skybox with a clip, sometimes you do not. That is one of the cases where you do. So right now, Sanjan is just going right to the Normandy, because there's a Normandy below every map. There's also the Normandy in the Citadel, which you can go to if you want, but this one gets you right to the Galaxy map here.
So I am a little low on XP, so I'm going to take some safety measures. But my XP route in this is really tight,
Yeah, particularly with the route Sanjan is doing.
because I do need to hit 1 kill after I start the final fight of Novaria later on. And so the planet order is also pretty static, because we need to do Novaria first for XP, as well as the boss being relatively not too bad with what we have. We can technically do Therum first, but it's much harder to do first. So I'm gonna grab this. So we're gonna do some good old planet scanning, because that gives us XP and money.
Yep, XP and money based on your level, so I'm going to be scanning a few planets here throughout the course of the run. Not a ton, not going out of our way to get them really, other than like a couple seconds.
So we are also totally going to be taking the normal way through Novaria. And there is a reason why I brought Kate and Tally. You'll notice when I did that Normandy clip, Kate and Tally were still kind of in my party. And that's going to be very important, because for this next trip, or next skip, we're pretty much going to go directly to their secret base.
Yeah, so there are all sorts of clips you can do all over, and it turns out that there is one down here. Now, it was important to navigate to Novaria first so that Novaria would load. First, before doing the clip, Shepard's Locker is right over here, and there's a little codex entry back here. So the codex entry gives you a little bit of XP.
You also notice there's a double copy of each character, because we totally glitched the game.
Hi, Kaden.
Your clones are very impressive. You must be proud.
I'm gonna take a manual save here as well, because if I mess up this trick, it can be very bad.
Yeah, so with that
I kind of failed this trick. That's fine. Yeah, this trick can be like weirdly precise. And then we're gonna be in the skybox again. So, while I hold W to go through the skybox to get all the way to the base here, you can read some donations.
How much time do I got?
You got time for 2 or 3 donations.
Okay. We have a $15 donation from Mike that says, "Welcome back, RPG Limit Break." We have $25 from I Rock This that says, "No better way to start off a Sunday than with a Slam Jam speed run. Finn and I are enjoying the run. Good luck and have a great week, everyone." And we have a $256 donation. Woo! This one coming from our community member, Vax Herd, who said, "Congratulations on getting another limit break underway. I wish I could have attended this year, but best of luck to all the runners. Donation to Runner's Choice."
Pretty sure I got this right. So yeah, we're in the base. Totally normal way. This skips like at least 4 or 5 minutes of content. We skipped going through like the whole Novaria town, as well as the whole Mako section.
I'm so sad that we don't get to drive the Mako. I understand why we don't drive the Mako. It's very slow, but I just love the Mako so much.
Yeah, and there are actually 2 versions of this skip. This one and another one where you just pop back in bounds a little bit earlier. And that one sends you through the garage and another little area there. It takes longer, but you do get a little more XP and money. But since it takes longer, Sanjan's not doing it. Instead, going to be going up to the skybox here and going right to the tram at peaks 15. And that's going to allow you to skip pretty much the entire first section by falling through the sky repeatedly.
Yeah, last time I commented this is not how we did this.
Yeah, so the route before, like, you had to, like, still go through, like, the garage and get to the elevator, but now we're here. But now this basically just skips directly to the tram. The end result is that we're with much less XP. That's why I had to take, like, all those detours. And this trick can be a little precise because I'm trying to kind of not end up in the middle here.
Yeah, there is a nice little visual cue that pops up if you get far enough along, but you can see it just
Okay, that was
appear
perfect.
at the last moment.
Oh, this trick always scares me for some reason.
Yeah, so instead you have to use that little bit of the map that you can see to navigate to the right spot instead of having that nice little thing on your map with plenty of time to spare.
And as a quick reminder, if you are bummed like me that we didn't get to see the Mako section here, and instead just skyboxed our way to greatness, there is that donation incentive to do the Mako glitch exhibition. So please get donations in for that. Look, I'm trying my best, okay?
To be fair, it is
like
a bit
the
of an
Mako, I'm trying my best.
It is a bit of an expedition in a couple places.
It really is.
This is true.
Indeed it
This is true.
This is true.
Expedition exhibition. That's what it is.
I'm gonna throw a grenade here to go a little faster.
Oh yes, this is no Mako glitches. You can be a lot more liberal with using grenades, can't you?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, in Mako glitches, you have to save your grenades more because you use it to, well, you'll see later on if we unlock the incentive, so please donate for that incentive. It's an awesome incentive.
It's so good.
So hopefully I will end up with around 2k XP, and that will be the minimum XP I need to get level 7. So we're gonna kill the 2 Rachni here.
So that's one of what, like 3 elevators you actually take in this run?
It's not many.
Go, go, go!
Alright, hopefully my team kills them. Great job, team.
Good job, team.
Let's go, Caden.
Alright, so basically, most people like do like the side quests in here, but we have Kaden and Tali with us. They have a decryption, and this is a totally legal skip, quote unquote skip. So we're just gonna use Omnigel to our advantage here.
This is an intended way to go through the section. It's kind of the renegade path, if you will. And we take advantage of the XP that you get from killing all these enemies. It also happens to be the fastest way to get to Venezia.
It's very funny in retrospect.
There is a skip and out of bounds to get there, but it's a little bit slower anyway. So this is the best way in every single way you could look at it.
Yeah, so I also want to mention by going directly to the tram, you skip like a whole bunch of like puzzles that you do at Mira, which is the AI that handles the space here. There's the
Are that the Tower of Hanoi puzzles?
Yep, it's
yeah,
the
I remember those. I like those.
Of
That's
course
very
you
good.
did.
I got anti-personal rounds. Unfortunately, I did not get a pistol. Ideally, I want a pistol, but it's fine.
We'll get one later. It'll be okay.
And lo and behold, we're at Venezia.
All right, so this fight is very technical, and thus, take it away.
Okay, so first off, you aim to the right because you want to send your party off there. The spawns of each wave that Venezia calls in spawn in the corners, basically, unless there's an overfull spot kind of in the middle. So going to blow up that particular Asari and immediately get advanced throw and lift. Advanced throw for this next Asari here, and that is going to end that first phase really quickly with squad mates killing the enemies on the other side. Then there's going to be a Geth and an Asari here. Going to lift the Asari and make sure that she dies because they can throw you and sometimes even put you out of bounds, which is not ideal. And they often fail to deal with this Asari commando well. This is a common occurrence, which is why
Hello,
Sanjan is
Kate and Sally. What are you doing?
They're shooting a box. Meanwhile, Singularity is going to deal with the Geth over here nicely and then Sanjan will go back and help the squad mates with whatever other enemies.
So this is why we take Singularity. It is very busted. You also notice like this is kind of like a glitch that happens. Ow.
Yeah.
But you can press escape and go to the menu, but it's not a really big issue for me.
Yeah,
aim-wise.
you can still shoot. It doesn't change your aim much at all. Using abilities on Benezia there to
Oh, that's unfortunate.
try to keep her from throwing you. That was another Asari that ended up throwing Sanjan there. And then these Asari commandos are a pain to deal with.
Oh, okay.
sometimes.
Kaden, all right.
Ooh, that was a really nice fight. The
He
squad
did something
mates,
eventually.
other than the one little bit where they were stuck shooting the box, the squad mates were really good there.
Yeah, normally Kaden would have, if you're on a higher XP curve, Kaden would have an ability called Neuroshock, which basically makes Venezia an instant easy kill. But since we're too low level, he won't have it, but it's not a big deal because you can easily shoot Venezia down, and then the rest of the fight is just trying to kind of use throw and lift on the Asari so you throw them out of the bounds. It's much easier to kill them by throwing them out of the bounds rather than shooting them straight up in. We are going to be not Renegade Jerk Shepherd here. We're going to save the Arachnite Queen.
No, we don't normally do that, right?
We normally don't do that, and the fastest route is using a route called Intimidate route, which involves killing the Arachnite, but for sensitivity purposes, we will actually be taking an alternate route.
Yeah, there's not a huge time difference, but it is there. You lose a little bit of time going for the Renegade option here because the cutscene to kill the Arachnite Queen is a little bit slower, as well as the dialogue. You have to make sure you pick the non-default option. And but then you gain it back later through persuasion option that we're not using, again, because of sensitivity options.
Hello, Arachnite Queen. Bye, Arachnite Queen.
And the reason that you're required to go Intimidate instead of Persuade is because of what is going to happen on the next planet. But in the meantime, Sanjan's going to run back to the tram, take it back, do a quick scroll wheel skip, if all goes well, and skip the short little cutscene where you talk to the council. That is one of the other mechanics of the scroll wheel. You can use it to skip, basically take your weapon out and buffer a little bit. So by going back to, having your weapon out, you can then quick save and load, and that will cancel a lot of scripts that happen when you get back to the Normandy initially, and you'll just end up in the comms room.
I'm taking laps around squatties, so I'm just. So what I have bound to my scroll wheel mouse down is the weapon swap. So basically, what a weapon swap does is that it will basically stall the cutscene from happening, and that will give us time to make a quick save and load the save so that we skip the cutscene.
While Sanjan's doing a planetary transfer, you could probably get a donation in here.
Yeah, I'm just scanning. I'm just doing more fun planet scanning. So you got time for two donations?
Cool. All right. We got $15 from Danky Kang, who says, "Welcome back, RPG Limit Break. Glad to have this wonderful event back and raising funds for NAMI, an important charity to myself and many others." Ben Kalos donates $20 and says, "Overjoyed to see RPG Limit Break back and always happy to support NAMI." And we have a $100 donation from Yokimato, who says, "Been waiting for this marathon, so happy it's here. Looking forward to the Kodoka run. Incentive to naming Pooh number 2 for that Earthbound run."
So we have to go here for back tour because we really do need the money, like, because the Krogan and the gift that we kill in the garage actually give like a decent amount of XP and money, so that's why we had to basically replace with all this good old planet scanning. But we're off to the next planet, Pharaohs, and there's we're totally gonna do everything as intended in Pharaohs, right, folks?
Yeah,
Yeah.
The normal way, the way that we always did it.
Yeah, you just go,
Nothing different.
you realize something's off, and so you go investigate it, and then you're done.
Yeah, I guess. I think we forgot to talk about a little backstory, but Venezia is the person that we just killed, and the person who saw the opening cutscene was one of Saren's friendly neighborhood folks.
I don't know about that friendly part, though.
Quote-unquote friendly. And then basically, she tells us about the possible location of one of Saren's bases, if I recall. Like when you when you kill her.
Equalizing interior pressure
And
with
we get
exterior
introduced to a part that we won't really see until like much later in the series called indoctrination. Totally, it's totally fine.
Yeah, so gonna run through a little bit of a section here with some Geth. Kill at least a fair few of them for XP and money reasons.
I'm gonna try not to kill the shock troopers here, because they don't get money. I did get a grenade from it, very nice.
Nice grenade drop.
So I think I did leave one of them alive, which will be nice because they'll give me run.
Yeah, it's a free sprint when you get back here because unlike these enemies that are just spawning in, the ones right by the start stay alive if you are coming back through. But yeah, so
That's a future you problem, not a present you problem.
Exactly.
So they want to protect the heart of the colony here for some reason, and that just sounds a little bit weird. So we're going to go investigate the heart of the colony. Pretty sure there's something wrong there. This looks like a kind of an interesting place to go. Yeah.
Yeah, just hang out here.
Yeah, you know, Shepard's gonna use, his good old Gengar Spectre powers to investigate this place, It looked a little off to him.
Shadow Sneak.
Yeah.
I actually don't know if Gengar learned Shadow Sneak.
I don't think so.
Does
I don't think
Gengar
so
learn
either.
Phantom Force?
I don't know.
I don't think
I
so.
don't know. But yeah, so you saw their renegade points, even though all the colonists were still alive. That's just a simple little scripting quirk that you should never come up against unless you do that glitch there. And that's why we have to go intimidate when we do the persuade route.
Yeah, but those points don't matter now because we're not doing that route. But this is a Thorian fight. This is probably one of the hardest fights, if not the hardest fight to do really fast. And
I
it's
would call
very
it the
technical.
hardest. Yeah.
It is, for me, it's very rotation based, and I don't have the best weapon, so it's not ideal, but I'll make it work.
Which is why we're going to get our best auctioneer impression as you explain this fight in real time.
I'm not going to go that far.
Okay, well.
But yeah, so a little bit of a level up there. One of the things you want is warp, and that's going to be used on these nodes. Advanced warp to lower their defense. The other thing that lowers their defense is by killing the Thorian creepers. You're going to rely on your squad mates to do a lot of that at some points, and at other points you're going to kill a fair number of them. There are also these Asari clones. The first one you saw got yeeted off the map. One or two more might have that happen to them. But regardless, we're going to try to CC them before they can CC us.
Yeah, it's very dangerous if they're left alive because they can do a whole bunch of really annoying stuff to us, so...
Yeah, and you get poisoned all the time in this, and so... you gotta be really careful about just not letting all the damage rack up and specifically, just every time you get knocked prone in this game because you get CC'd, it lasts forever, as you probably saw with the bartender earlier. So.
Slowly pulling yourself to your feet, yeah. It's definitely something you want to avoid as much as possible, not just because of speed, but because of danger. It is very possible to die in this fight. You can see using some metagel there. It's rare to use metagel outside of this fight and the bar, honestly. Those are pretty much the two uses you can count on ever doing.
It's also rare to see melee as much as you do in
Yeah.
this. It's just kind of a way to control all your cooldowns and your rotations.
Yeah, controlling the cooldowns. You can see that a lot of these things are coming up off of cooldown at specific times. So this fight is choreographed to minimize the amount of time you're waiting or on an ability or on your weapon to be ready. So because of the poor weapon that Sanjan is using right now, the basic one you start with, she's using a lot of melee, more than you would otherwise want to use, but that does knock them down. It makes them more vulnerable to damage, and also keeps them from hitting you or your squad mates. This particular node has a lot of Thorian creepers associated with it, so you definitely want to kill a fair few before you go after it. You also have some cooldowns coming up, but then right after here is another one. This Asari sometimes goes off the map, but not always, depending on whether or not she goes right immediately. And this node, as soon as you kill the Asari, you can destroy it really easily. But this is one of the more potentially annoying parts. There's an Asari clone that's going to be coming around this corner, and especially because of that Thorian Creeper right there and the one in front of it, it can be tricky to not only shoot the Asari clone like you saw there, but also hit that particular clone with your abilities, throw and lift. Caden does have stuff that he can use as a backup, which is one of the main reasons he's here, his abilities in general. Now one last clone, one last node, hitting the node a little bit while waiting for cooldowns.
Yeah, I don't know if we ever explained this, because if you haven't played Mass Effect 1, because you got in the series maybe with 2 or 3, Mass Effect 1 actually uses a different weapon system than the other games, and that all the weapons have a cooldown, which you can, or they have like a heat bar, which you can see above the health bars, and so that's why you'll see Sanjan sometimes attack slower, because if you overheat, you can't shoot until the weapon cools down again. And that's why we can't just click the button as fast as possible all the time forever.
Yeah, that was a very good fight. I didn't talk much because I really had to focus there. Like, there's so many things I had to keep track of. I had to keep track of my heat. I actually swapped to the Striker 2 because that was a better weapon than what I had. I had to make sure I hit the Asari. I had to keep making sure that my cooldowns were good. And yeah, this is the end of the.
It's kind of like a raid, sort of. It kind of follows a similar idea of like certain things happening at certain times and keeping track of rotations and cooldowns.
Yeah.
And now we're going to have another little cutscene, so Bonnie.
Alex.
Hi.
Hey, I got donations. Well, first, before I get to the donations, let me give you all a little bit update with what's going on with the incentives. For the Mako glitch exhibition, we need $300. We have $225, so we're getting close. We're not quite there yet. As for the bid war, Save or Yeet the Council, Yeet is in the lead with $40, Save has 30. So it's actually a pretty close battle. So if you want to... Now, how much longer before we have to resolve that?
It's like the last thing.
Yeah, it's like pretty much at the end of the run.
All right, so you all got plenty of time. If you feel strongly one way or another about Yeetage or the lack thereof, then get your money in. As for donations, we got a $30 anonymous donation with no comment. Thank you. Kelladorn donates $10 and says, I'm so hyped for RPGLB to return. I will see you all later this week. And Singularity donates $25 and says, donate to assume direct control of the glitch.
This hurts you.
Okay, keep going?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, sweet. B. Broseph donates $25 and says, praise be to Mako. Best of luck, Sanjan and friends. Let's see here. Reliant23 donates $35 and says, RPGLB is back. Good luck to the runners, and thanks to the staff and volunteers for putting the event on. Incentive for Yeet at the Council because I've never done it casually. And then the Altar Maven donates $5 and says, chat, it's your mission to get this marathon in position, to get an exhibition of a glitchy expedition. Let's not surrender to it to perdition. So this is my petition. Meet incentives, help a good cause, maybe get prizes. So get your donations in submission. Cat Dragon bites the awful RNG.
That was impressive.
Yes.
Yeah.
10 out of 10. Please think of the Mako. The Mako is, basically dragged out of this category. Please bring it back.
Yeah, so we now have our end game weapon, which is the Stiletto 4.
5.
It does not always spawn in the shop, but if you save and reload, then you can attempt, or like it'll regenerate the shop inventory. But that was first try, so now we have our good weapon.
I also barely had enough money. That's why the money route is really tight. I'm going to try to do a swag strat.
Yeah, this is the hardest of these.
I failed it. That's sad. It doesn't lose you that much time, but
Yeah,
it's swag strat.
we don't have Liara yet, so it's not a big time loss at all. It's really only faster in in-game time if you remove the loads to do that skip.
Good timing, Commander.
All right, so they tell us, hey, we found Saren's base on Vermeer, but we're not really going to go there just yet, because we're going to go grab Liara. And Therum is mostly kind of like a, Mako, probably one of the two-field Mako driving simulators. We don't do any cool tricks, so a lot of you might think that we're going to do the famous Mako clip that will get you into the base, but
you gotta pay for the famous Mako
yeah,
clip.
you gotta pay for that one, unfortunately. We've got something bigger in store.
Yeah, it's possible on both this original version and the remaster to clip the Mako into the section after it, but That's not the only way to get through there quickly. You'll see more when we get there.
I assure you, you would like to see the thing that we're not doing though, because it is
Yeah,
again
yeah.
very funny.
I think we need $225 more.
We need 75 more. We're very close.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You flipped it.
We're at 225
One
out of
moment.
300.
One moment, I will get you that. Yeah. So yeah, we need $75 more in order to get the Mako Glitch exhibition.
Chat, you can do that.
You
Come
can do
on.
it, chat.
Come
We-
on.
I promise you.
Do
faith in
it. Do
chat.
it for the Mako. Do it for the Mako.
Imagine putting faith in chat.
People
Unbelievable.
clowned on the Mako for so long, and I've always loved the Mako. Unironically, I miss it so much.
I've never minded the Mako. I just minded the terrain you have to drive it on.
I just love a messed up car.
You know what jank driving, makes for like the best moments.
Yeah.
I know
It
people are
does.
frustrated, but like, if you think about all the fun you have with all like the jank Mako driving moments, like you did with the horse in Skyrim, like,
The Mako walked so that Hello Kitty's racing with friends could fly.
ooh.
I guess. Anyway, that was a lava jump that just
Yeah.
happened. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so you can jump that lava, or if you touch the lava, you're a gonzo.
You explode.
Isn't it different in the remaster?
Yes, it
Yeah.
is different in remaster. You can drive over the lava. It's like
It does
I think,
damage over time.
Yeah, it does damage over time, but honestly, jumping over is just as cool. So I'm gonna try to kill these Geff here for some XP, because we are gonna be skipping XP. So
Sanjan's like so good at shooting in the zoomed in thing while driving. Every time I try to do it, I immediately drive off the edge.
Yeah, it's definitely an acquired skill. You have to learn to kind of like aim the Mako, then quick scope
all right,
in.
I'm gonna
and
do the
quick scope
swag
out.
strat. Ashton and Kane don't believe in me, but you know what? I believe in myself.
Da, 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 da,
Perfect.
da,
Let's
da,
go.
da, da,
Comes
da,
right
da.
over too. Sometimes you get stuck in there.
Yeah, that was really clean.
I have in fact gotten my Mako stuck vertically. in a
Yes.
little
Yeah,
gap
I've been there before.
Oh, I love the Mako so much.
Did I ever equip the stiletto?
That maneuver
did not.
that maneuver definitely had some Free Willy vibes to it.
Yeah, exactly.
So basically, you can save a couple seconds by jumping over there. You could also take the more alternate route, or like going around. But
And that's
it's cooler to jump over the gate.
it's not that much slower to go around actually.
Yeah.
So like if you're not that good or that confident in the Mako jump, you don't want to lose runs to it. Just go around. Listen to your party mates.
I didn't listen to my party mates, but
Yeah.
I take the dub.
You just gotta believe. It's a fully like confidence-based trick.
What if you don't?
If you
have
believe in the
confidence?
Mako, you can't fail.
Well, see, that's my problem.
Well, that's a personal issue.
And this is a skill issue, honestly.
Yeah, it is a skill issue.
Can I jump in real quick with breaking news?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah,
We
go ahead.
have met the Mako Glitch expedition.
Yay!
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you're all.
Does that
learning
mean we
for
have some
a
donations then?
moment.
Sure does.
Whoa.
You do, because it's gonna be about three donations worth of Mako driving to go.
Yep.
Cool, I'll give you 4. Zoya donates $25, no comment. Raku Ray donates another $25, also with no comment. Ravindel donates $75 and says, glad you guys are back and sorry I could not be there this year. And Halkari donates $10 and says, Dragon Quest XI's is the best experience I've had with a new RPG series in years. After randomly downloading the demo on a whim and getting 8 solid hours in it, I knew I had to get the full game, put this toward English voice acting.
Wait,
Ooh.
demos give you 8 hours of gameplay now? That's wild.
Yeah.
I love Dragon
Well-
Quest 11 myself, so definitely donate for the incentives.
To be fair, if you're considering like a demo as being like 5% of the game, then yeah, that's probably about right for Dragon Quest.
That's fair.
So we're coming up on a rather unique skip here. Also, I think it's funny that this is a no Mako glitch run because you're getting all the grenade drops and
Yeah.
Yeah.
anyway, so gonna kill these Geth troopers here, and instead of going up forward to do the Mako clip, you're gonna see Sanjan drive off the map a little bit here. And there's a little bit of weirdness here. So first off, one of the things that is worth noting is that you are very far away from the origin point. So when you clip out of bounds here, the party isn't going to come with you at first. But you need the party to be there, so pretty much immediately another quick save and load. Then Sanjan is going to bump into the party member and suddenly be warped to the top of the skybox. Why does that happen? It has to do, shoutouts to Lufex for finding the skip and also saying how it works. When you're far enough away, the kind of positioned floating point numbers get kind of ridiculous and the game doesn't handle them correctly. So when you interact with your party member physically there, it zips you.
Computers are so dumb.
You know what I also think? I think, you know, everyone's just realizing the power of a Gengar just like ghosting around the map.
Yeah.
I think it's the power of friendship allows you to clip through any wall. And that's beautiful.
Very true.
And I gotta say, big shout outs to Lufex for finding a lot of the newer skips in this run, including pretty much all of the stuff that we can do with the Mako glitch.
It's been wild to see how much development Mass Effect, a game from 2007, has gotten recently.
Mm-hmm. Just over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been amazing to see like the categories times go down. Like we used to think sub 130 is really hard, but now like it's under like almost under sub 123.
So there are a couple ways you can skip from here, where Sanjan is about to be landing, into the Prothean ruins where Liara is holing out. And one of the ways to do it is nice and safe, consistent, but it's a little bit slower. You can also go directly in, crouch and uncrouch there. It's a PC-only thing. It doesn't work on consoles. That's one of the main detriments to running on a console.
Hey, we're here.
But right in there. There's a laser. You can't use it yet because there are enemies in the area, even though there aren't enemies in the area yet.
Would you say they're everywhere?
They are everywhere.
Enemies
literally.
everywhere.
So you have to go up here and trigger Liara's dialogue, and that is going to spawn the enemies. You can then kill them and use the mining laser, which is required to progress.
And then specifically, you put a squad mate there so you can talk to them from above because it starts the cutscene faster.
Please move along, my fellow squad mates.
And then the hardest part is coming up soon, which is everyone's favorite memory challenge.
Yeah, that's a PC-only thing, and the console, it's always the same. But here you have to remember these, and there's an annoying amount of delay before you can press them. So
Not bad.
that wasn't
pretty
bad
good,
at all.
yeah. I could never. My brain does not do that.
I'm fine with it, but I find myself rushing it all the time and messing up the inputs.
Oh, yeah.
I just love how at this point in time Liara is just like delusional. Like, are you real?
Yeah, actually the fun fact is that depending on like when you rescue Liara, like her dialogue slightly changes.
Do you think
Yeah.
Liara knows that her barriers are just completely useless to the power of quick save and load?
Obviously not.
Well, that's a Prothean barrier. It's a little bit different. It's
Okay.
not the one that protects you from damage. It's the one that is a wall. And as we all know, walls are suggestive.
That's true.
So-
That's a good point.
Walls are, you know, just a
So-
thing to our fellow Gengar shepherd.
So this fight is like kind of infamous casually to people. Like I think a lot of people thought this fight was really hard.
It's the
And
Power Rangers.
yeah. In the run, it's not bad.
Yeah, since we have, if we do it early, it's really bad. Since we're doing it much later, it's not that bad. So I'm just gonna throw the Krogan to the ground here,
Yeah, you need at least advanced throw for that to work.
and then there's gonna be a really loud cutscene that's coming up. So sorry for everyone's ears.
Ugh.
So
What?
What?
The reason why this cutscene, so Mass Effect has some like weird sound balancing for cutscenes. So this particular cutscene and then the final cutscene on Vermeer, the planet that we're gonna do next, it's always gonna play at max volume for whatever reason. We don't know why.
What?
It's punishment for going out of bounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, the K's trying to, you know, go down on us because we went out of bounds too much. Like, you know, we broke the laws of physics.
Every time you break the laws of physics, you add another decibel. That's how it works.
Yeah.
You add another
God.
decibel, and the military guy in Mass Effect 2 at the Citadel yells at you some more. And now it's really important to get these 11 swap skips, because if we don't get it, Liara's going to put us into a 50-second cutscene, and sorry, Liara, I like you, but I hate cutscenes.
Fair. Wait, you also run Pokemon. You can't hate them that much.
Well, you know what? It's thankfully in this game I have the option to skip cutscenes, so you know what?
What's
I'm
that
allergic
like?
to cutscenes.
God, I wish that was me.
I don't know what that's like. So I play Ender Lilies. I can skip those cutscenes.
Ah,
too.
see, that's smart.
It's cathartic.
I also can skip cutscenes in Octopath.
Check out that run later this week. Also from Sanjan.
Yeah, so at this point, Vermeer has another long Mako section at the beginning. For quite a while, there isn't going to be anything interesting, and then there's going to be a little something interesting, and then we'll get back into the gameplay. But until then, I'm just going to note that we're not bringing Liara into the party until later. That is very intentional and very important, especially with this particular XP and skill point route. And other than that, which I can explain later, we have time for Von to read some donations, talk about the charity, do what he does.
You know, before we get started, Alec, I just want to give a shout out to the shirt you're wearing. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Wait,
All
what,
right.
what shirt is that?
An Iron Maiden shirt.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. We have $10 from Drake Lake, who said, wanted to donate to something good during one of my favorite games and hear that wonderful host voice read it. Flattery will get you plenty of places. All right. Sam K Sam K235 donates $25. No comment. Jordan97 donates $25, says more Mako.
Yeah.
More Mako.
$75 from Razor's Edge 7, who says bring back Mako. Also, good luck, Sanjan. Great game and a great runner. And Sakul donates $5 and says Kingdom Hearts prizes, take my money. Donating to name PMD's Meowth after my favorite VTuber, Melanie Pepon. Well, speaking of prizes, we've got a few that you can get eligible for by making donations anytime between now and the end of the Dragon Quest XI run, which should end in about 8 or so hours. So you got a good window here. We've got a Dragon Quest I mouse pad, a Kingdom Hearts all-in-one collection, and some Kingdom Hearts playing cards. Now, in order to get eligible to get any of those prizes, you need a minimum donation of $5 in that window that I described there. But if you donate at least $15, then
Oh my goodness. I overdid it. I wanted to run, you know, the big F over, but I kind of overdid it. Oops.
At least you didn't get stuck occupying the same space. I've done that, and it takes a lot to get out of the...
All right, could the guests get out of the way so that the host can continue
Oh,
talking?
yeah.
what does
Really?
$15 get me?
So $15 gets you in the running for the Kingdom Hearts acrylic painting, which is beautiful. So you can definitely, yeah, and all you got to do is donate. And, you know, just kind of cross your fingers and hope you get there. But even if you don't, you're putting money towards a great cause, which is the National Alliance on Mental Illness.
So I'm parking my Mako in a very specific spot here. You'll see why here in a second.
It's to save time.
Indeed. So we're gonna be So one thing I forgot to mention about the Mako is that when you kill mobs in the Mako, you get, I don't know how much percentage less XP, but you get like
It's half.
much less. Yeah, you get about half the XP you'd normally get. That's not the case in Legendary Edition.
God,
It
is
is
it
the
half?
case
I thought it was
in,
like a quarter.
In Legendary, you get like the same, and I think it might change with a few different things, but as you can see there, if you get the entrance point for the Mako nicely aligned there, you can get right back into the Mako.
Yeah, you don't have to walk down the stairs because
That's
Shepard's
up.
allergic to walking around.
Especially when you don't have sprint.
Yeah, it really adds up because we have to do a bunch of these little gates.
Yeah, thankfully in Legendary Edition they let you sprint out of combat, so that's really nice.
Yeah, that was a weird choice, honestly. When you look back on it, you're like, running is to places is nice when it's faster.
Running
you know?
is scary.
You know, who would have known it would have taken like
you're
throwing a grenade at your feet?
wait. I don't need to dwell on that for a second. You do a show about how anyone can do runs and how it's not scary.
No comment.
Okay.
It could still be scary. You know how scary it is to be thrown into the wolves when you do that show?
That's fair.
All right.
I'm just saying your messaging is all over the place.
All right, so we are pretty much at the end of the very fun Mako section. There's gonna be one more big one, more big old driving Mako section coming up. Nothing big on the planet after this, but we do make one important plot decision, and the plot decision is for either Caden or Ashley, our two human companions, to either go with the team or stick with the bomb. We will always save the person with the bomb because we can do a clip there to get there much faster. So, sorry, Karahe. And actually, it is faster to save Ashley, but
So what are we supposed to do now?
this may be a hot take. Caden's my most favorite character, and I deserve a little happiness in the Mass Effect speedrun where I skip the plot, so I'm saving Caden.
Yeah, and you've optimized your Caden menuing, honestly.
Yeah.
Because, like, the only reason you lose time picking one for the other is because you have to, like, do those 3 different selections there. But, like, at this point, Sanjan loses, like, half a second doing it, so...
Yeah.
Hold the line.
Hold the line.
Hold the line! Also, this is the part where Rex would be.
Yeah, if you,
No comment.
who's that?
I don't know who that is.
The one of the 2 grayed out menus in the
Oh, it's gonna be
options
3
in the
soon.
menu.
Well, it's gonna be.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're gonna do a bit more walking around here. And no, we are not going to do any of this stuff because, you know, Shepard's got places to go.
Yeah, the first one takes a bit of time. Second one, even then, like, a little pop-up happens that says, hey, you did this thing, and that takes time too. So we're just going to throw everything at them that we can because all of that is faster.
I hate when things take time.
Me too. So you could, we're gonna do a bit of walking around, so you got time for 1 or 2 donations or anything like that?
I don't have any donations to read, but I do have an update on the Save or Yeet bid war. It is now a dead heat.
Ooh.
Both options have $40. So if you're listening to me and you want to either save or yeet the council, now's the time to throw some money at it because, like I said, it is a flat tie. So definitely get your money in for that. And what are you donating your money for? Well, you're donating your money to the National Alliance on Mental Illness. It's the nation's largest grassroots mental health organization whose work is focused around 3 pillars: education and support, awareness, and advocacy. Well, what does this mean? Let's talk about the education and support. Via their 48 state offices and nearly 700 affiliates, NAMI offers a host of signature programs, presentations, and support groups that are available free of charge. This includes a
Oh
national
my god,
helpline
please. Okay, thank you.
that can provide information, resources, and a compassionate, understanding, trained volunteer to support anyone who calls in.
For whatever reason, that console that gets you in here is incredibly poorly programmed. It can be really hard to select sometimes for no discernible reason.
Yeah, you have to be like a really specific angle. Like, it is very troublesome getting it.
If you think about it, Mass Effect is like the first 1-button game. Maybe more so Mass Effect 2, but...
So here, there's a little bit of a combat manipulation you can do. By killing these 2 enemies and that husk
Nice,
quickly
they did their
enough-
job.
Yeah. You're able to open that door a little bit earlier. And coming up here, so this bridge exists both when it's up and when it's down, so you can just walk across the area where it is,
I love this game.
even though it's not there.
You know, Shepard Gengar is just ghosting through, you know. Nothing out of the ordinary, you know. Kaden and Tally, they're completely fine. I do wonder how they're doing, you know, seeing all these skits.
Ashley thought that Shepard was going to save her, but then he ghosted her.
Yeah, and that little bit there, it skips some plot where you learn about Sovereign, the Reaper. And this is where the old route, before we got the weapon from the shop, we would hope for a good weapon in those crates that Sanjan just
I love
does
hoping.
Wait, the Reaper, don't you mean the Geth warship?
Yes, the Geth warship.
The
The super
advanced Geth
fancy
warship.
Geth warship.
The space lobster.
It is a space lobster, yeah.
Alright, can I get some... No.
Rail extension's not bad if you want to use it. That's personal preference though, because it overheats your weapon pretty quickly.
I don't even know what... I think I have anti-personnel.
Yeah.
Alright, I think I'll be fine. I have Master Lift anyways. Hello.
Nice work with that gun, Commander. We've got the other one in our sights.
Yeah, the add-ons that you get for your weapon matter, but they aren't the be-all, end-all. The weapon is more important than the mods.
Yeah, it can help for like the certain fights, but like you can perfectly finish a run fine without it.
I understand why they changed the weapon system in Mass Effect between 1 and 2, because you just kind of get an inventory that was just full of garbage. But I miss it.
It was really overwhelming, though.
I understand why they changed
Yeah.
it, but I like picking up stuff.
I have an addiction to like picking up stuff.
Same.
Like I need to like keep all of my stuff. I need to like basically like have a bunch of stuff. You know, I have to be ready for every single scenario.
In Fallout 4, when they were like, you are incentivized to pick up literally everything you can find because it all turns into different parts, I was like, oh man.
So this is a very important menu that I have to do. So what I did was turn auto level off for squad mates, and the auto save is optional, but that's just a more safety kind of thing. And so now we're forced to get Liara, and there's gonna be a very specific reason why I saved getting Liara for last and leveling her. So I'm going to get her Master Singularity for a trick, a really, really cool trick. Probably the coolest trick that, aside from the Mako glitches, because I'm a Mako fan, that I will show, or that gets shown in the speedrun.
It's a blip bug.
It's a really fancy orbital.
It
That
is
also
orbital,
works,
huh?
yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's
That
a
would
blip
be-
bug, but I think orbital works too, yeah.
So I'm gonna pick Liara and then I'm going to go grab some skills here. Get Master Lift. Get Master Throw first. And then I'm going to get Master Singularity. And it doesn't really matter what I get after Master Singularity. A quick save here, and Master Singularity is in general just like a really good skill, but we're going to be using it for a purpose that you might not think it is.
So there is the reason why we need to swap out Liara earlier and not have her there is to avoid the auto level up.
I have a lot of grenades, like,
I may never know.
I have so many grenades, so I'm just going to throw one here. And we make one very important plot decision here, but we are going to save Kaden because he's with the bomb.
It appears the Geth have sent.
Yeah, it's always the inconvenient option here, unfortunately. So you have to menu over to the left option at the end there. But this allows you to go right over here, clip back in, and it also messes with the AI of the Geth that are by the bomb, so they just stand there and do nothing.
They're just vibing.
They're stunned, you know? They're just like, wow, Shepard's doing all these cool tricks.
They're like, dang, Shepard, you're just gonna let Ashley die? Okay, whatever. I don't even know what to say. Oh no, I'm there with her. No.
Get out! We can't hold them. Damn it!
I actually checked the lines for this, and
Cover your.
I think Kaden has shorter lines, like if you pick to save Ashley instead.
That could be. I've never actually checked that.
Oh yeah, sorry for the eardrums, everyone.
What?
These cutscenes are, you know, really loud, because great audio balancing from the game. Also, hi Saren, he's gonna be on a really cool, wannabe hoverboard. Look at him, he's like on his cool surfer board, like, or space surfboard.
The Silver Saren.
Or Silver Saren surfer.
Wow, it's easy.
And then it's one of everyone's favorite type of boss fight where, like, no matter how well you do, like, the cutscene after is still, like, you getting owned.
Not really, he basically, like, I think Shepard does, like, the, you know, the good old Falcon Punch.
There is that part, yeah. You're about to get owned, and then he gets distracted.
And then Saren just casually gets back on his good old silver surfer board.
God, it really is loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For any fans of excellent NES music,
I understood that reference.
All right, everybody, hang on.
Boom.
After this, though, there's no more, like, unnecessarily loud cutscenes.
Bye, Ashley.
Bye, Ashley.
Bye, Ashley.
Rip Ashley.
Sorry you didn't have a chance for character growth here.
That happens.
Character growth in a speedrun? What?
I know, right?
Talking to other characters in a speedrun? What? plot in my Mass Effect? What? In my Mass Effect speedrun? So
Now-
for real, if you like a really cool plot, I definitely recommend Mass Effect.
It's so good.
It's
Yeah.
really good.
Get the Legendary Edition. It's great casually.
If you like speedruns, you can get the original edition, but...
Yeah, that's on Steam too.
Alright, so I'm gonna do a cool little trick here. So because, you can skip the cutscene where, Udina sells us out.
Even 3, with like its infamy surrounding its ending, is still like fantastic all the way up until like the last 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And apparently
plot-wise,
they've largely resolved the last bit. I have not played the extended edition or whatever.
Oh yeah, plot-wise, we get locked in.
Thank God there's no fall damage in this game.
So yeah, we're gonna go from the Normandy to the Normandy, and the Normandy is not locked down because they only expect you to be able to be on the outside of the Normandy, not on the inside of the Normandy.
Oh, it's the Normandy SR2! Wait.
Perfect.
Is it cool if I jump in with an update on that the bid war that's going on?
Yeah, go
Sure.
ahead.
All right, let me lay the ground with a couple donations. We got an anonymous donator who gives $5 and says, the council must be yeeted. Yes. And then Collapse donates $100 and says, you are not Saren. Best game, best event. Now, with those two donations, the option to yeet has soared into the lead with $145 to only $40 for save. Now, I understand that save the council, save the frames. Is that what you said?
Yes.
That's correct.
So if there's anybody out there that wants to see those frames get saved, those dollars need to come in because it looks like time is running out, is it not?
You got about 10, 15 minutes.
Oh, okay,
left.
yeah. So that's we're getting up against it. So if you want to make that happen, you need to do it soon.
Please think of the frames, please.
It's like 14 or 17 seconds. I forget which.
It's
but
actually significant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so you can either save the time or make the right choice
Yes.
and yeet them.
But the right choice is the fast choice.
What's everyone's favorite Mass Effect trilogy game, and why is it 1?
Well, see, I really love 3.
I do like 3 too. I love 3's multiplayer.
I love 2's story the best out of all 3 of them.
I love 3's...
I love 1's story the
I
most
love
out of
1's
3.
story. I love 3's gameplay.
Yeah.
I usually default to 2, but I legitimately like all of them except
Well, yeah.
the aforementioned last little bit.
I mean,
3.
3 is a ton of fun as a Vanguard because you just do Nova Punch over and over.
2 speedruns are really fun because you also play as a Vanguard and you charge all over the map.
And then low-key, Andromeda has like the best like shooting gameplay of all of them. Like the Andromeda multiplayer is like really fun. It's just not as good as the first 3 in every other aspect.
I feel like Andromeda would have done fine if it wasn't called Mass Effect. I think because it was called Mass Effect, we
Yeah.
got a lot of crap.
Quite possibly, yeah.
I believe that.
Although we still would have laughed at the procedurally generated animations they had at the
Wow.
start.
Oh, yeah, that was...
Wow.
So we're coming up on one of the more fun skips in the run here. First off, gonna have to kill some enemies. Part of that is to safety save. Also gonna be careful not to aggro the Geth armatures that are back there a little bit. And you see these 2 boxes. So
Oh, it's gonna take long because
yeah.
I shouldn't. I need to stop getting master lift for this. It's okay. It's gonna lift for a little longer.
Yeah, so lift. You lift that box up, and then suddenly you're on top of it. And Liara has Singularity and a Master Singularity, and the biotic amp she starts with gives her enough range to put a Singularity
I
there.
love
and
this trick.
It's
This is
so
like the
good.
most fanciest, like big brain trick like I ever seen. Like I would never think you can do this.
And it's like and it's still like less absurd than like the Mako glitches version,
yeah, it is.
which is hilarious.
So this part is annoying because it varies a little bit based on PC and how each varying PC loads this area. So what you want to do is you want to slide and either land on top of this area or in the little tunnel below. Either one works. And that gets you past that elevator. So far we have ridden, I believe, 1 elevator. And we're going to have to ride that one back up and then do 2 more quick elevator rides by Vigil, but That's basically it for the speed run.
Yeah, this speedrun is really cool because you pretty much like skip most of the elevators that you have to take.
Which is very funny because it's like the most infamous part of one. Is that like, because, I mean, the thing with the elevators is that if you play this game on a modern computer, you'll be like, why did everybody complain about the elevators? They're like, not that bad.
I first played this on 360.
Yeah.
Same.
Yep. And they're really long when this game first came out because, you know, they're to hide loading screens.
I could
There's a
legitimately
minimum-
pop popcorn during one of them.
There's like a minimum amount of time that an elevator takes, but it will extend the time based on the loads, I believe, right?
Yeah, so basically it all depends on how long it is to load
Yeah.
the next area. And beyond that, the only factors are how long any dialogue it loads is
Yep.
going to take, just in and of itself. That's it.
It was honestly a very clever way to make the game feel more seamless than it actually is. I think.
I mean, some of the best dialogue is from
Yeah.
the elevator, to be fair. So
I have a shotgun.
So true, Tally.
Thanks.
You tell Garrus.
I have spent my life studying the Protheans, but I never dreamed I would discover.
Oh yeah, some of the lore we didn't explain if you're not familiar with this game. There's a precursor species. They're called the Protheans. They made all the cool stuff, or did they? Question mark?
Thinking
Yeah.
emoji.
What it might reveal. Please.
Poor Liara, though. She's so culture shocked.
Yeah. Mass Effect as a series is a like game where a lot of the technology is specifically like not understood by the people who are using it,
Some kind of containers? They look
or at least all the really cool big stuff, all the mega structures.
themselves alive through
This
cryogenic
planet was like a structure for like housing those Protheans, and then well,
The pods are dead as well as anyone inside.
yeah, they took the L because of a certain group of lobsters that
Yeah. Look, sometimes you exist because they allow it, and sometimes you end because they demand it.
Yep.
That's life. The circle of life.
Yeah. So this
Yeah,
part, this
it's not
area
Kingdom
is
Hearts yet. Keep the
significantly
My bad.
different in the Mako glitches since
Yeah.
you
Well, it's
skip
coming
all
right up.
this, but we get to do a good old Mako drive. One last ride with the Mako.
Saren must have set an ambush.
So I'm going to go down here, ride the elevator down to Vigil, talk to Vigil, ride the elevator back up, and continue on with a bit of a Mako ride. And obviously that gives us a little bit of time to get through any donations. or anything else.
Donations.
Okay, I got a couple of those. We have Zero Wing 211 who donates $10 and says yay for RPG LB's return. And we have a $5 donation from Frozen Flygon, who says, what an incredible opener to RPG LB. Sending love to Sanjan and Corvime. You two are incredibly talented speedrunners and amazing friends. Excited to be with you both in February.
Court, I love you.
Oh, hi, Court.
Hi, Court.
I
Hi,
guess.
Court.
That's,
I'm wearing my FF shirt.
Thanks, Court.
Well, one of them. Yeah, that's right. Get on.
I'm gonna subtweet.
Get on.
I'm upset. I'm doing it right now.
And the Protheans were taken in by the Reapers just as we were.
They failed.
They failed. Just like my people. But they also gave us a chance.
Yeah, so now we gotta go into the conduit
Oops.
because, spoiler alert, it turns out that the Citadel was made by the Reapers.
What?
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 They were able
Because-
to make those lobsters were able to make it. Wow.
Yeah, so the Reapers were like, we're gonna make all this super cool technology, and then every species will develop their technology around our super cool technology, and then essentially we'll have full control over it forever.
It's controlled civilizations.
Exactly. Setting you down a path that they dictated. And so there's this big old, I guess it's kind of like a small mass relay that we can use as it's essentially like a back door into the Citadel, and that's going to be the swan song of our beloved Mako.
Yeah, the conduit, which is much more entertaining if you don't have what we refer to as the AMD graphics fix mod.
Yeah.
All it is just a thing that removes like 3 or 4 lights in a couple places. One of them is on Novaria, the other is here. And it prevents things from looking very weird. And you like see black boxes going around. I intentionally don't use it because I think it's hilarious.
It's really funny. It also, I think that's part of why my game kept like hard crashing, and I couldn't finish runs because
shouldn't be.
I don't. It was messed up.
I think Mass Effect is cursed anyway
Yeah.
on some computers.
Yeah, this is not the best port.
It's not.
If you look up the Demiurge Studios and what they worked on other than this port from console to PC for Mass Effect, you'll see a lot of DS shovelware on there, and I think that tells you all you really need to know. But it still mostly functions.
Because 2 was the first one that was natively released on all 3, right? Or like built for all 3, I want to say.
I believe so. It still definitely has its issues on PC,
yeah.
but
3 is probably the cleanest on PC for sure.
It's incredible.
That's the conduit. It's like a little mini master relay.
We have to get through that.
Yep, and imagine that if those rings were like black boxes and kind of had those black boxes following them around and covering them up. That's what it would look like otherwise.
So we're gonna be on a timer to get to the conduit. You have a limited amount of time before it closes. Would you like to share the anecdote you shared with us yesterday?
Oh, yeah, so my very first time playing this, I was younger and equally as dumb as I am today, but dumber in a different way. I didn't realize you could drive out of the river, like out of the stream of water. So instead of just driving onto dry land and actually getting to the conduit fast enough, I spent like 3 or 4 good resets following the flow of the water, and I'm like, how the heck are you supposed to do this?
So-called free thinkers. Go to rivers there.
That's not me, I guess.
I feel like everyone just like sees that 40-second timer and doesn't realize how big it is until like it happens.
Oh, when I finally started driving over everything, I had like 15 plus seconds to spare, and I felt like a dum-dum.
Best time you can get, I think, is 14. Like a high 14 remaining. And part of that is because you jump in there using the jets to end up a little bit farther into the area when it starts.
Oh,
And
no.
they like actually do not give you that much time. Like
It's plenty of time as long as you just go
if you
right
just
for the
hold down
conduit,
straight, yeah. But if you try to like take out all the geth beforehand because you think you're supposed to or anything like that, then
Yeah,
it can get tight.
Yeah, you're basically supposed to like ignore them.
Whoop.
Also,
So that's
yeah.
that's the Yeet the Mako.
Also, yeah, we're pretty much very close. So
Yeah.
save the frames, folks.
Probably get a
Yeah.
couple donations when our beautiful child the Mako is yeeted through the conduit.
I shed a tear.
Well, I don't have any donations to read, but we're talking about eating, and that reminds me of some of the bid wars and things that we need to do here. Let's talk about Dragon Quest XI, which is going to be the run after the next one. We've got plenty of things we got to do there. First of all, the donation incentive. If you want to see the world's best Tough Puff, we need to get to $1,000 there. We only have 311, so got some work to do there. If you want to get Sylvando's stinking gift, we're going to need, let's see here. We're going to need to get to $500. We're currently at 25. We are looking at a bid war here to name the hero. Right now we've got 2 options that are in there. One is Nami and one is Natara. Those are both at $10.
Yeah, Natara.
Yeah.
Also, this is the last clip you see because this basically skips a whole bunch of cutscenes.
Yeah, we're pretty much going to have to cut off the save kill cutscene incentive in like a minute.
So get those in. Quick.
You do not have long. And I say like a minute. I mean it, literally. So that skips a whole long out of the section. It puts you right into this area where you're in your suit. So the suit just kind of spawns on you, fortunately. And
That'd be pretty funny if it didn't.
Game over.
That'd
You
be
can't breathe
extremely
here.
unfortunate.
But yeah, it also skips one of the slower fights in this section where you have to power up turrets and wait for them to kill a Geth dropship. So we're coming up on Saren here. We're going to be fighting Saren on his hoverboard
Do a
again
level up here
because we don't
for
have persuasion.
Master Throw.
Yeah, so normally what we would do is we would skip the first phase by having full Renegade. We chose to not do that for this run specifically because like it's
rough.
It's rough. It's a full content warning sort of situation, and fighting him isn't that much slower. So
Honestly, you get to fight him on the hoverboard.
Yeah,
like,
which
it's
is cool.
Also,
We'll probably
at the end of this fight, that's cut off the
yeah.
the incentive. It's about 30 seconds. So yeah, normally you would take the dialogue here, but I'm just gonna mash through it. And we are gonna use Tally's special ability here in a second, which I'll explain.
Yeah, so certain powers have certain effects. He's going to try to use one power on you, but if you have Tally use damping on him first, then he won't be able to use any powers for a while. Then you can just shoot him.
Yeah, Saren is scripted to pretty much use an ability that overloads your weapons, which is like really annoying.
That was good.
Good fight.
And then let's cut off the killer save the council bid war.
Okay, we got an interesting situation here. I've got a very important donation to read. We have a $200 donation from Jason LaRose that says, RPG Limit Break, we've missed you. Welcome back. Donation incentive goes to Kizaron's choice. So Kizaron, the fate of the council is in your hands. If you put it toward, if you put this towards saving the council, it's happening. Otherwise, they get yeeted.
Don't mess this up.
No pressure.
Save them.
No,
Okay,
you messed it up.
Yeah, we're going fast.
We
The
will be
speed runner made the speed running choice.
Folks, we're saving the council.
I hope the council appreciates that.
Save the Destiny Ascension.
That's too much pressure for me.
You cracked under pressure.
Would a shepherd dance make you feel better?
Yes.
Commander, we're picking up reinforcements. It's the Alliance. Thank
Okay,
the
I'm
gods.
pleased. I made the right choice.
No, but you can dance next to me and pretend we're dancing together.
Yeah.
I do want to do that.
Also, very, very epic cutscenes. Honestly, like, I like these cutscenes, like the fighting, which is like, there's a sort of like epicness to them. It's
Yeah.
just like very immersive. I think that's probably why, like, I
it's
really
good-
like Mass
it's good
Effect
science
1.
fantasy, it's good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The Citadel's opening. All ships move.
Like, it's really cool because there's like this epic battle against Sovereign. Totally a Reaper, you know, Lobster.
The Citadel makes Sovereign look
Machine
so small.
Lobster. I know.
But yes, because this is, if you didn't notice, a video game, the boss does in fact have a second phase.
Indeed.
And so time will be sort of ish coming up, and that's going to be on the last hit of Saren 2.
Yeah, so this is a two-phase fight. The strategy is really simple. Lift. Shoot. And then...
Throw a warp in there because
Yeah.
he has a decent amount of defenses.
Yeah, and it's basically that. There's not much more to it. Adrenaline Rush does come in really handy here. Or is it Adrenaline Burst? I always get that mixed up between this and the Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, you need a minimum of advanced lift and master throw to be able to CC him. Also, I think Saren got a mega evolution.
Primal Saren.
Saren, oh my goodness.
Whoa.
What did the Reapers do to him?
Unfortunately, the Primal Evolution takes like 45 seconds, or else we'd use it more.
True.
I think it's messed up that they gave Saren a Mega Evolution, but not Flygon.
I know.
Deserved.
This is why Court didn't call you out.
You know, that's fine. We're fighting now.
See, look, the crowd's cheering. It's all choral. Like, oh.
So this is
No,
the
that's the end of the week. That's the end of the week.
this is the third goofiest final boss design in the Mass Effect trilogy.
What do you mean the final boss in Mass Effect 3 was the best?
It's the third goofiest. It's the third goofiest one.
Yeah, it's just, what's the enemy type? It's something shields. Yeah, that.
It's a little slower than I thought, but that's fine. So the fun thing is, while this cutscene is playing, your cooldowns are actually refreshing as well. So by the time this cutscene is done, I'll have Master Lift back up.
It's not that often that a cutscene actually like is gameplay useful, you know.
Also, get ready on time. It's gonna be very soon.
Yeah.
It's too strong. We have to pull back. Negative. This is our only chance. Take that monster down no matter what the cost.
I love this random
Hack it
cutscene
out.
of Joker.
He's just having a bad day.
Yeah, you know that's what happens when you get indoctrinated by Sovereign.
He got knocked off his hoverboard.
Personally, if I was Saren, I would simply not do that. Skill
Yeah.
issue.
And time.
Time.
pretty good run aside from the start. That was really solid.
Yeah, looking like a 127.36 real time. That is
really good.
that is
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
That's like a 120. That's like a mid one. That's like a 125 or like high 124 loadless. That's really good. But yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for my commentators, Keys, Alec, and May for joining me. Also, I would like to thank you to RPG Limit Break for having me. You'll see me again on Wednesday running Octopath. Totally the prequel to Mass Effect.
Yeah.
Totally.
Really, really early prequel.
And stick around for a little bit more, because if you want to see the Mako do some very silly things, you donated for it, you get it.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yes.
You all will see greatness in its shape.
I love it. I just wish it were more consistent.
Yeah, so originally there was only any percent, and then any percent no Mako glitches, and any percent unrestricted. Is that what the other one's called?
Basically, we just call it any percent,
Okay.
because it's like
Yeah.
it's anything goes within you
Yeah.
know, the basic rules of the game, and then no Mako glitch just bans the Mako glitch specifically. And the reason that category split happened is because the Mako glitch is so inconsistent.
It is really cool, and it saves a lot of time.
It saves.
But as you'll see, it is.
It exists.
It exists.
It's a thing. Like, just
So-
nod
Yeah.
your head.
You might have heard of this thing that exists called physics.
What? What's
And,
that?
It's like these fundamental laws that govern all of reality and how it exists and interacts around us.
Oh, geez.
What the Mako can do is it can take all of that you know about physics and say, no, we're not doing any of that. Absolutely not. And it becomes popcorn.
See, typically, yeah, like you can think that gravity has a particular dominant vector, and
Yes.
you know, that's like down, right?
Newton's first law.
But what if down is everywhere all at once?
Whoa.
I love how they imply that you got crushed and died at the end of this game, but then you just start the second one
Okay,
dead.
they imply that Shepard dies so many times
Yeah.
over the course of this series.
But Shepard does die over the course of the series.
That's true.
That's true. That is true. I mean,
At
sometimes
least
twice.
once. Yeah,
he got better.
at least once.
Yeah, Shepard got way better.
That
Yeah,
is my
Shepard got an
favorite line in
upgrade.
Mass Effect 2. I got better.
I got better.
Yeah.
He's got a face like, my arm is hurt. This is inconvenient.
Yeah,
I know.
he's like, oh man, oh, you just gotta get one of these, Shepard.
All right, important choice. Udina or Anderson? What do you think,
Anderson.
crowd?
Anderson.
Anderson.
Damn.
We
no
can't-
one likes Udina
listen.
in the club here?
We can't punch Udina, so the least we can do is slight him, right?
Many humans.
There is no
Oh yeah, we skipped that cutscene where Anderson punches Udina. I just remembered because
A lot of punching people who suck in the series, which is
Yeah,
why
yeah,
it rules.
yeah.
Play the series.
We need someone with the courage to stand up for what he.
also because we
Ha,
get this because,
angry.
You know, we were renegade
God,
technically.
Shepard just looks so confused.
Wait, I'm a bad guy?
He's like, oh man, the coloring is not
Okay, so
what I
I'm gonna
was
try to exit out of
expecting.
this screen really quick here.
Yeah, before the copyright music gets too intense. But fortunately, you
This
can
music's
skip
good, but
this.
unfortunately, we can't listen to too much of it. So I'm gonna try to exit to the main screen here, so we can load a save.
It will let it lets you skip it in just a second when the credits actually pop up here.
There we go.
All right, so without further ado, let me show you all the Mako incentive. So I'm gonna show the base Mako incentive here. So we're gonna totally bid for Primrose.
Mako
Mako
fanboy,
fanboy!
yeah. He just like me for real.
All right, so we're gonna show off let's start this really cool trick here. So I have a save here at with the Mako position in a certain way, and we've got our poor friendly neighborhood friend here, Liara. So what happens with the Mako is that there's gonna be weird effects when you either kill or knock down the character. Basically, when they get back up, it makes the Mako do some really weird stuff. So sorry, Liara.
That's so rude.
So what happens when you enter the Mako as a party member is
Ooh.
reviving?
That was anticlimactic.
Yeah, for whatever reason, the physics just cannot handle it. like, it messes up something about the scripting. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but the Mako is like constantly trying to right itself or something, and it's just flying around, constantly taking damage. You can use it to clip through this door, which is the one that Saren closes. So this is right at the start. You like kill 2 Geth, and then you go right back to the Mako, position your squad mate that you're going to down. You down them. This is why you need grenades. You also need a grenade mod. Ideally, high explosive 3 is what you hope for. That's one of the inconsistent parts about the run, is that you need grenades and you need a good grenade mod. The other inconsistent part is the glitch itself.
Yeah, that's why no Mako glitches became a category, is because there isn't really, at least not that's known, a way to make this consistent even a little bit, because it seems so hyper dependent on exactly like where the Mako is, where
Mako positioning, the camera,
like the camera, where your like, how far into their wake up animation your partner is, the moon cycle, how much RAM you're using,
whether you properly sacrifice that goat under the full
moon.
It's
easy. The goat's an easy thing to mess up too. You hate to get into like one.
I'll do one more tour on this, and then we'll move on to the next one. But that's mainly showing off. Hopefully, we'll clip through some doors.
My trick isn't working. I can't believe I bought the wrong flavor of Doritos.
Yeah,
Dang.
exactly.
Poor Liara, like this is why in a speed run, the squad mates don't like Shepard.
But yeah, so it's pretty frustrating, to get to like an hour 5, hour 10 into a run, and then the Mako decides that it's just not feeling it today,
You're supposed to get the cool ranch, not the nacho cheese.
And plus, there are like more than one that you do. So if you get the first one, which is the easier one, you still gotta do the second one.
Only a few seconds later, you notice that they haven't really regened all their health. That's because you just drive a little forward in this corridor. And then you clip outside of it, hopefully.
I think the Mako's having its moment. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I just love how it just gives up eventually. It's like, I'm done.
Well, the popcorn's popped.
That's true.
So if you think of this as the corridor, once you get out of it, there's kind of a wall that you have to get out, around, and above, and then back on top. And influencing the Mako flight is, it's a matter of just kind of moving your mouse in patterns and hoping it does what you want. So now we're out. We might, if we're unlucky, go back in. We're
Hopefully
going
we'll
up.
hit the top around here. Actually,
Yep.
that might
Okay,
be
this
fine.
looks good. This looks
Okay.
That might
So
be
now
fine.
you understand why I was like, this has to happen.
There we go.
good. Hey!
Yay!
Yeah, that is really hard. So now, being on top of this area, there is a little corridor along here that you're able to drive. There are a couple obstacles that you have to worry about, but this skips the entire section, basically. You don't have to go and talk to Vigil because you just drive right past him. You don't have to worry about the trench run because you go around it out of bounds. What you do have to worry about is making sure that you do not bounce like out of bounds. And there are a couple places that are particularly tricky. So coming up in just a few seconds here, there's a boost that you have to do, kind of a jump, and you have to make it a certain distance. You want to have a certain orientation or else you might bounce off. So it's very advisable to do a quick save there if you're doing
You gotta
one,
make
two.
sure you don't bounce out of bounds, unlike what's happening right now, which
Yeah.
is extremely inbounds.
So you can see landing on this kind of inconsistent area here, then you're able to drive up on nothing, then you fall off of the nothing into this area.
If you like cool Mako tricks, watch some of this.
There's a little bit of an invisible wall that you can't really see there that you have to kind of go up on the wall to avoid. Then you go and you sink into the floor, like it's Get Out. And
There's a little bit of an invisible wall here that I had to jump over.
Yep.
And hopefully if I did this right,
That's Ashley's ghost.
yeah, she's back to haunt me for all these tricks.
Then you just kind of sail over here. And at this point, you're pretty close to where the conduit is. There's some invisible terrain out here that you have to get around. You don't want to fall down, so it's a little bit precise here. And then you have to get back in bounds. because in order to get to the conduit, which is the progression point, you have to actually get there. I messed around a little bit trying to get there out of bounds and then maybe clip in later to see if I could do something a little bit faster than what Sanjan is about to try to do here to clip back in bounds. And I found that by the time I was even close to being able to potentially even test a place to clip in bounds, the scripted damage from the inbounds Colossi, Death Colossi there, would already have killed me. So,
this is like a little really tight spot that I had to hit.
Yeah, this trick is really easy until it isn't.
Yeah.
It's one of those where it's like, you don't have a great frame of reference.
There we go.
Yeah, so that's exactly what you want to have
So
happen.
what we did is skip like the entire cutscene where like, you know, the Geth invade the Citadel, blah, 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 but we haven't gotten an attack yet, but once we hit like this little spot right here, the Geth are basically gonna...
They're gonna start shooting.
They're like programmed to like start shooting it, and you'll see the shield like immediately go down like that. There's no timer, funny enough, but the Geth are still hitting you.
Yeah, you can't even see them shooting you, but you're still taking damage.
They're staring at us ominously.
They're dealing spectral damage to us.
Yeah, so then the rest of it is as normal.
So I guess I'll show you the famous clip as well that
Yeah, this one's the best.
you can also, so fun fact, you can also do this in Legendary Edition. It's just a little harder.
It's
so.
a little trickier. Basically, the collision is a little bit different, so it's harder to get the Mako horizontal from its normal position to kind of vertical on its side, which is what you need to do to clip through there.
Yeah, basically what I need to do is kind of like align my Mako into like the right of its little thing so that it flips on its side.
You need to flip and then have a little bit of your momentum preserved and not get stuck. It is possible to soft lock here. If you're doing it on the Legendary version, fortunately, once you get in there, you have the boost, which helps you get through. So my advice there would be pulse the boost, don't just press it. Pulse the boost.
There we go. And so then you can keep driving through all of this and actually bring the Mako into us. You're not. It's like really weird to drive through this because like it's not designed to be drive for the Mako. It's very.
You can also soft lock here too, so it's a little harder to soft lock through here, but.
This collision right there is really wonky.
As you can see there, the Mako basically did a little mini barrel flip here.
And then we're getting up into the entrance to the mine. And there's like a whole fight where you fight a bunch of Geth that messed me up for real when I played this game casually.
Yeah, it also makes that fight really hard.
The game doesn't expect the Mako to be there. So
there's all sorts of collision that you're not going to interact with on foot ever. So they didn't really bother making it make sense. And the Mako collides with it. But it also messes with the scripts in the cutscenes, so it never loads the Geth's AI, so they just sit there and let you kill them. The other thing
it's nice of them.
that you can do with the Mako glitch, there's a glitch you can do in Novaria, and you can also skip out of bounds and basically end up clipping back in bounds the same place that Sanjan went in the actual run.
So this is actually a really cool version of it, so I'm gonna make a quick save here.
Has anyone here ever played this little indie game called Skyrim? This is a very similar energy where through the power of vehicles you can climb any mountain.
And you can magically get out of your vehicle and into the tram area if I do this right.
Yeah, this one actually isn't as fast as the map glitch, which is kind of what we call it. It's the skip that we actually use to clip from the Normandy. But you go out of bounds here. There's a place you can't really tell too consistently where you are that is above the tram.
And we're suddenly
very
out, and
precise.
let's see how much what he hit.
Oh, nice.
Perfect.
First try. So yeah, unfortunately this is a little bit slower, but it's funny. You do one Mako clip to get out of bounds above the map, and then you do another to, and then you just kind of navigate out of bounds, fall, save load, and you're in here. The other one that I mentioned on Therum happens pretty close to the start, and
what was that line?
You have to go super high up to get above an invisible wall, and you can't get too far away from that invisible wall, so it's really hard. Like the Mako skips. True any percent is an exceptionally difficult and inconsistent category.
Mom was right. I should have brought a
It
sweater.
is cold
What
in
a
Bavaria.
dork.
It is cold out
What
there.
a dork.
It is cold out there.
It is freaking cold. He has a point, but
You know,
yeah.
it's cold out there. You gotta make sure you have a sweater.
But yeah, that's it for the Mako glitches. Sorry I couldn't show the door off. You know, the Mako sometimes does what it wants to do. I think today it didn't want to show the door, but
The Mako did most of what it needed to do.
You still
and
get to
the
see
Mako's a
most of
free
the
thinker.
ILO skip, and that's
yeah,
that's something.
it's okay, Mako.
That's the hard part of it.
You go when you
technically.
feel like it.
yeah, you know, the Mako's my beloved vehicle. You know, sometimes, you know, it just needs a rest, and you know, that's it for the Mako glitch and stuff. And that's it for Mass Effect 1. I hope you all enjoyed it. I want to especially thank my commentators, Elect, Corbin May, and Kizaron for being here, for being
Thanks
awesome
for having
people.
us.
And then I'd like to shout out the Mass Effect community. I like to shout out Lufix especially for doing a lot of the glitch hunting for this category, especially the cursed, good old cursed the Mako glitch that I
Yep.
showed off. And shout outs to Mike Wave and Creepy King as well. Creepy King did some recent rerouting and found some really cool applications of the glitch as well. And not this glitch, but like the variant for the Novaria route. So, and then that's it. Thanks to RPG Limit Break for having me for this run, and you'll see me this Wednesday at playing Octopath, Mass Effect sequel.
Do you have a preferred character for that game before you go?
Please bid for Prim. It's literally my shepherd's name.
Well, not this one.
Not this one, but it's literally my shepherd's name. Please bid for Primrose. Primrose is one of my favorite characters. Her single story is really cool. You can bid for 1 out of 8 characters. I am begging you to bid for Primrose.
Oh, that's like Octopaths.
Yes.
know.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, it's dawned on you finally. We can end on that note. That's a good note to end on.
Yep. Thanks for having me again. Enjoy the next run.
Alrighty, Sanjan. Well, thank you very much for that run of Mass Effect, 90% no Mako glitches, as well as the exhibition afterwards. Just a little bit of bookkeeping on that Save or Yeet donation, the bid war there. For Yeet, we brought in $145, and for Save, we brought in $240. So thank you, everyone, so much for donating to all of that. Coming up next, we have a run of Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, the Riku story category, and that is going to be run by Aeon Frodo. We're going to take a few minutes to get set up, but everybody sit tight. We'll have another run for you in just a few minutes. Please don't go anywhere. Alrighty, folks, we've got an interview coming up here, so we're going to hand it on over to our interview team. Go ahead and take it away.
I'm here with the one, the only Sanjan, who just finished an incredible Mass Effect 1 run to kick off the marathon. And I gotta ask, how do you feel? You know,
I feel good. I was a little nervous coming up to the start because it was just like, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm opening the run. Like, I've closed runs before. Like, I'm opening the run with like one of my favorite games of all time. Like,
yeah, let's talk about that a bit. So you're opening the marathon. Like, do you do anything like special to prep for it? Is it just like, oh my God, I don't get to, it's just like I'm there and then the run has to happen. Like, is there thought process that goes into that, or is it just you prep for it the same way as any other run?
Yeah. So I prep it like same as most runs. Like, it depends, but I am worried about the more PC part because Mass Effect does require like some legal file modifications to it.
Right.
So, like, I was just wanting to make sure, like, hey, everything's okay. And then, like, I'm very thorough in my preparations because I pretty much very much work on marathon consistency.
Right.
Like, I was overall happy with it, like, aside from the beginning part, which isn't a big deal, but we got through there and I didn't lose that much time. So, overall, I was really happy. And I'm really glad that the crowd and the chatters got to enjoy it.
Yeah, so what got you into Mass Effect speedrunning in general? Obviously, it's a very, very popular game series, otherwise, that's why it's here, but, what brought you to, speedrun Mass Effect at a high level, to where you could show it off at an event like this?
Yeah, so I got into Mass Effect for a couple of reasons. Like, I tend to get into runs that, like, I really like the game casually. Like, even though in Mass Effect you ignore, like, the story, really. Like, for me, it's another way to basically, like, play the game in like, a much different way. And, like, another way for me to, like, appreciate the game. And Mass Effect was pretty much, like, one of the things that got me through, like, like, my younger years, like, really good for me mentally.
Yep.
And then, like, the second kind of thing is, like, RPG. Like, I typically like to actually run, like, turn-based RPGs.
Okay.
So, like, Pokemon, Octopath, etc. I did run Knights of the Old Republic, another BioWare game before that, but, like, it was my first time, like, really doing, like, a shooter-based RPG because, surprisingly, I don't play shooters very well. And even, like, in Mass Effect, like, I'm not that great with shooters, like, casually, especially. So, like...
So was that, like, did it take a long time, getting used to that for your first time doing it?
It took a little time. Like, I had to basically kind of think of it in a different way.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. You actually brought your own keyboard to the event, so you're using your own keyboard, and I'm assuming your own mouse, to, I guess, keep the consistency.
Yeah, the mouse is mandatory since it has a free wheel scroll.
Right.
The keyboard, like, I'm very, like, muscle memory dependent. Like,
makes sense.
So, like, I need, like, something that will keep my muscle memory. And surprisingly enough, since I had to learn, like, do both Mass Effect and Octopath, I do Octopath on a controller so that I don't mess up my muscle memory for Mass Effect.
So which controller do you do Octopath on?
So I use a PS4 controller.
Okay.
So it's just, like, really small for my hands because...
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So speaking of Octopath, that is on Wednesday, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So why Octopath? So we're going, like, you normally do turn-based RPGs, right? So what got you into Octopath?
So funny enough, it was like the very first speedrun I've ever done, or game I've ever speedrun, and there was like an achievement for speedrunning, so I started with Cyrus single story.
Okay.
So which is notoriously one of the harder ones and more difficult RNG-wise, but it got me to speedrunning, and then like I started enjoying like playing fast and then meeting a lot of new people.
Right. Yeah.
Who were,
of
like
course.
interested in watching me, and then it kind of grew from there.
So, we had the big incentive for that one is the bid war between the characters. You mentioned Primrose is your favorite character, but that's not the only, like, I'm sure there's all the other routes have very cool things. So
yeah.
What's like a route that has like a really cool thing that you wouldn't see otherwise? And then what's the really troll route, the one that like it can just go so wrong?
Ooh, there's actually one that fits both, and that'd be Cyrus single story, because in Cyrus single story, like for the fastest route, you use a skill called Bewildering Grace. So it's kind of like chance to like it's kind of like slots.
Ooh,
Like slots in the FF7 speedrun, for example. And you can't really RNG manipulate it, but you're looking for 2 conditions, which total is about 70%.
Okay.
And I do enjoy it, and low-key, I wouldn't mind running it for the marathon. Along with Primrose. But Primrose would be my top choice just because the fights are very dynamic, like, especially the final fight, like, there's a lot of RNG, but it's still like a really fun it's like a really fun route.
But obviously, you could do any of the 8 on a moment's notice,
yeah.
which is incredible. That's so much to go through. I can't even imagine what oh my god.
Yeah, I had to do that and like learn Mass Effect, which is like they're very different games.
Yeah, obviously.
But like I think what helped me was just like some of the single stories like do similar things, so like I could basically kind of like map it out. mentally for myself, like which isn't too bad, but it's like it I definitely had to prepare a lot considering like I had to know all 8 stories and then yeah.
All right. So before I throw it back, I do want to go over a couple of the prizes that we do have for the event. You know, obviously, all of your donations are going towards a great cause in NAMI, but you can get something back too. We have our raffle prizes. So if in this block, we do have one of our lovely Dragon Quest mouse pads. I know that, like, you read mouse pad, you're like, oh, that doesn't sound that incredible. These are awesome. Like, look how, like, I want to use this as like a card game playmat almost. Like, it's so cool. There's one for this one, and then there's also for the later Dragon Quest run, we also have this one, which is like the old school Dragon Quest 1 map.
That's really cute. Honestly, I would see this and this would elevate my speed game.
So then also, of course, you know, we have Kingdom Hearts up next. So you have the Kingdom Hearts all-in-one package and some Kingdom Hearts playing cards. And there's also like some really cool, there's an acrylic painting that's unique for the marathon. So many cool prizes. Definitely check those out. Definitely make sure to get those donations in. The minimum donations are listed under the prizes. And yeah, some really, really cool stuff. Some fantastic runs and some fantastic prizes from this marathon. So, Sanjan, thank you so much for interviewing with me and hanging out for a little bit after your run. So,
thank you for having me.
And I'm going to throw it back over to, I believe it's Vanny hosting, and we can keep going from here.
Yes, it sure is. Thank you so much for that. I want to read off a donation while we've still got Sanjan here. Hafke donated $25 and said, "Limit Break has triumphantly returned, and I know what I'll be doing all week. GG to Sanjan for the Mass Effect run, and here's to all of the great runs yet to come."